Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to solve two labs. One is the reflected XSS into HTML context with nothing encoded, and the other one is similar to it but for stored XSS. Both of these labs are easy but they are important for you to understand the difference between both. So let me start with explaining it to you what is reflected XSS and what is stored XSS, and maybe that will help you understand the difference. So reflected XSS is, for example, you have a search option in your website where people can search for products and it can be anything. So in that search option, if I'm going to put a payload and that payload gets executed in that browser, gets reflected in that browser, then and there, it is reflected XSS. It is not getting stored anywhere in the website but getting reflected, just that. So what happens is an attacker will do that. It will then copy that URL. It will copy that URL where he had searched for that payload and that payload got reflected and give it to some user. And when that user goes to that URL, it will happen to them as well. Whereas in the case of stored XSS, let us say that you have a social media website and you have an option to comment. It can again be an e-commerce website where you have an option for people to review the products. So leave a comment again. So in that comment section also you add that payload. Then what happens? That payload actually gets stored in the website. So whenever a user comes to that website, that particular page where the comment is, this payload gets executed again and again. So that is the main difference between reflected and stored XSS. Now let us start with solving the reflected XSS lab and access the lab. So the lab has opened up, but before we start, let's read this part where they have mentioned that this lab contains a simple reflected cross-site scripting vulnerability in the search functionality. So we have our first clue that it is part of search functionality. Second, they are telling to solve this lab, we have to perform XSS attack which calls the alert function. So we have to call the alert function. Now we have understood. Let's go back to our lab, and here in the front only we can see that we have a search option. Over here, what I'm going to do, I'm simply going to type the payload. Although we can see it down below, I'll type it for you. So you can add script tag alert 1 and then close the script tag, right, and click on search. Once I click on search, the pop-up comes with 1. So we are getting the alert with 1, and when we click on OK, it is done. Now you can see in this URL itself, we have that this search equal to the payload. So what the attacker will do, it will copy this URL, share it with other users so that this particular code will be executed for each and every user who clicks on this URL. So this is what reflected XSS is. Moving on to our second lab, which is stored XSS lab. Now in this lab also what they're telling, it contains a stored XSS vulnerability in comment functionality, right? And we have to submit a comment with alert function. Perfect. Let's access the lab. So now the lab has loaded. Let us see. Okay, we like to blog. So this is a blog page where there are multiple posts that we can see. You can select any one of them and click on view post. Once we go there, let us see if there is some comment area or something related to that. Okay, there are some comments already posted. Okay, and here we have leave a comment option as well. Let us do one thing. Let us type our payload here as well. I have added the payload and name. You can just put any email ID and a website. So there is some website format for here. So you have to add HTTPS and then www.google.com. Otherwise it was not taking it for me. Okay. Now when you post the comment, it says the lab is solved, but we could not actually see the result, right? Let us go back to that page. The moment I click back, that page was loading, right, where the comment is already there. So I got this alert That means my code is working. But to show it more clearly, let us see. So there is one comment already on 28 April which is done. Let us go home and click on our view post again. The moment we clicked on view post, again the code got executed. So that means it is stored in the website now, and every time any user visits this page will see this payload. So this concludes today's video where we solved two labs, the reflected XSS one and the stored XSS one. We understood the difference between both of them. I hope you liked this video, you understood the concept, and you also understood how you could also solve this lab. So if you have any doubts, please comment it down below in the comment section. And if you like it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and tell them the importance of cybersecurity as well. And subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.